And welcome everybody to another episode of Come Play With Us Danny, the horror movie review podcast hosted by myself and my sister Megan. Of course, before we get into the episode, make sure to go to our YouTube page at Come Play With Us Danny Show. Hit the notification bell and subscribe button as you can because we love viewers and subscribers. And we love it when you guys tune in. So that's great. Yeah. On tonight's episode is The Pope's Exorcist, the latest Exorcist movie. Yeah. And we've got movie news too, so don't worry. Yeah, The Pope's Exorcist is a 2023 supernatural horror film directed by Julius Avery from a screenplay by Michael Petroni and Evan. I'm going to not say the last name because it is very long and it's very Greek. Spilatopoulos. Evan Spilatopoulos. There we go. That's the closest I've got. It's based on the 1990 book An Exorcist Tells a Story and the 1992 book An Exorcist More Stories, but by Father Gabriel Amaroth. The film stars Russell Crowe as Amaroth with Daniel Savato, Alex Esso, and the great Franco Nero in supporting roles. Came out with mixed reviews, grossed about $76 million on a $18 million budget, so pretty much a box office hit. It is now the #1 streaming movie on Netflix right now. Maybe because there's nothing else to stream on Netflix, unless you count Hot or Not. I don't know. Or Is It Cake? Or all the other streaming shows that they have.
I like Is It Cake. That's a good
I do too. I watch it with your niece. We watch it all the time. We watch Is It Cake all the time. It's a great show. Although Mikey Day can be a bit overwhelming sometimes.
Mikey Day was overwhelming on, what was he on?
Well, he was on Wild 'N Out.
Wild 'N Out, yeah.
Yeah.
He was overwhelming on that too. So
yeah. So Megan, we're both in agreement with this movie that this movie was a big turd, and I think we were most disappointed with this movie because it had so much promise.
It did,
but
it had a lot of potential.
Had a lot of potential, but you know what lost me is when as soon as the movie kicked off. Not the Exorcist, not the opening scene. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie yet. Not the opening scene where he's in there and there's a possessed guy and he, at the end of that scene where they shoot the hog because that demon possessed the hog or whatever.
Yeah.
It's when they have the scene where he's the family is driving to the house and they're playing the Cult's Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Which is one of my all-time favorite rock songs of all time. No, you do not use that song for a scene like that. No, and that's what lost me. I was like, what is going on here? Why is this being played right now? Why is this one of my all-time favorite songs being played in this movie right now? This does not fit the movie. Like there were a few times where like songs were not in the right spot. I don't know why they had to use like modern songs in this movie. I don't know, but like I think from out the gate with Russell Crowe's like accent, I don't know. It's just here's my big complaints. It was too bright for a possession movie, I thought.
Okay.
Too bright. The lighting was too light. Okay. If you're gonna have a possession movie, like be a little bit darker. Okay. Very bad CGI. Especially when the mouths were like enlarged a couple of times. Very bad. Very, very bad. And then the third act alone was the worst of it all. It had promise because the cast was pretty good. Like Russell Crowe's a great actor. Franco Nero is a legend. I was even really, I was really pretty surprised at how the little boy played the possessed kid. Like he did actually a pretty good job. Like
Did you like a child actor?
I did like a child actor, and he did a pretty good job as being possessed. And I think that takes a lot of skill to be, made up in all that makeup and then just act like, a demon has possessed you. And I give the kid props. He did a pretty good job. the demon voice, little much. Like it was scary when you first heard it, and then like he just kept talking, and it's like, no, you don't need to talk so much.
We tried to replicate The
Yeah,
Exorcist.
yeah, it was
Is
just
what
too
we
much.
tried to do. Um, I, I mean, I told you what my opinion was on this.
I know.
It just, it, it disappointed me because it had so much potential to be an actual decent movie. Are you showing off your background?
That's right, Tugger.
You have to explain this background to everybody because I
All
didn't know
right,
what the
so
fuck it
if
was.
I don't know if most
Now
probably
you can
most
say
of
it.
you if you know what it is, this is when South Park, parodied Russell Crowe back in the day. This is very like one of the early episodes of South Park is when Russell Crowe in real life was actually going around punching people in bars and stuff. And this is an episode where they parodied that. It was like a Saturday morning cartoon with Russell Crowe and his boat Tugger
Uh huh.
kept going around picking fights with everybody.
Uh huh.
Drew's probably gonna hate my very bad Australian accent.
I'm sure when he watches, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Um. So for me, let's start for the first. The first scene was
Yes.
lacking.
It was. It was, and you when you said this is almost like Scary Movie, or like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
yeah,
It was like a parody movie starting
it
off. I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
it wasn't scary at all. Like Russell Crowe
No.
comes into the scene making jokes and stuff, and
Yeah, I didn't grasp. Like,
yeah,
I got the concept of the first scene, but like, so take what we just reviewed of Talk to Me,
hmm
that first scene, the violent stabbing. That
yeah,
was the first scene. That was a fucking punch you in the face. This is what this movie's going to be about.
right.
This movie was like,
I
I
didn't
just, I don't get it.
I didn't know I didn't know if it was a comedy or a scary movie at some points.
And you said that to me because I was like, now I'm going to go into this looking at this like, what the fuck is going on? And like,
Yeah,
I understand your point on the music.
yeah,
Like, why are you playing the violent femmes in
yeah.
this?
You don't need to play the cult She Sells Sanctuary in the one of the opening scenes. You don't do that. You don't do that at all.
Like,
That's
I
that's blasphemy.
like I get like some of what they're trying to do, but the music was
Yeah,
completely off. This whole soundtrack was not you. What the fuck? Why are
yeah.
you playing this type of music for this movie?
I
And
didn't get it at all. And like I think we've seen these plots before where there's like an underground conspiracy or there's something like involving the Pope and all. It's like we've seen this song and dance. Now I know this is based off of his like the character that Russell Crowe plays is an actual real guy. He was an actual real priest that did this.
yeah, Father
Now,
Morse. Yeah.
yes, now if this he was like this in real life, okay, I don't know how he was in real life. So if he was like he drank whiskey and which Russell Crowe did in the movie and made jokes and swore and stuff, then okay, that's cool. I get it, but I think they should have gone really more of a serious tone in this movie because there was no to me there was no serious tone. It was just kind of
No, it was like a
slapstick.
weird slapstick kind of
Yeah. And,
situation, and it just didn't. I don't know.
in the third act, just I don't. There was like the underground lair underneath the house, and like
And it wasn't explained. Like there wasn't
yeah,
anything else to explain. There wasn't explained about what happened to the father. Yeah, the father got a fucking rod through his head. That's great. But there
right,
wasn't any more explanation about that. It wasn't an explanation about the downstairs. It wasn't an explanation about the house they bought. There wasn't really any explanation
right. There's like boom.
about
There's an
anything.
underground layer of like creepy shit. There's a huge throne with a skeleton there. It's like, hey, it's there. It came with the house. That's why you got a discount on the house. It's because of that.
Your Remax realtor did not tell you about this,
Yeah,
but guess what you have downstairs? Like I didn't understand any of that. Like it didn't usually in those situations with those type of movies, they'll explain what the
yeah,
situation is. Now, granted, Russell did describe who the people were down there,
right,
but he didn't tell us what the fuck they were doing down there. Like
right.
there wasn't any explanation
Yeah.
to anything.
Yeah, there was just stuff that was just there, and there was just no rhyme or reason why it was there, and it was just
And
like,
then I
okay,
get the whole kid possessed thing. Yeah, he did a good
did a
job.
great
I
job.
think he was probably the only actor out of that whole movie that was actually decent.
hmm
The scenes were too much. Like it was, I was to a point where I was like, just get on with it. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is not. It's dragging. Like, what are you gonna do? And then all of a sudden, the demon possesses him and
The sister
daughter.
too, yeah, at the same time, and I didn't know spirits could do that. I thought it was just one. But hey, maybe we're breaking the rules here in these possession movies now, where they can just possess multiple people. Because, well, if you're gonna do that, then why don't you just possess everybody in the room? You know, like, hey,
Yeah, like
I
what's
can throw myself into the sister now. Why don't I just possess the mom, and then possess the assistant priest, and now I can just possess Russell Crowe's character, and then boom, I have a whole team of possessed people.
well, like I'm even reading the plot of this, and it says the Pope assigns a morph to visit a possessed boy named Henry in Spain. Henry, his mother Julia, and his rebellious teenage sister Amy had traveled from America to take possession of an old mysterious Spanish abbey. Julia's husband's sole bequest to his family after he died in a car accident. Why did he have this?
Right.
Like what? I don't.
Like
I don't get it.
there's just like, hey, he had the house, and then he bequeathed the house to his family.
And of all like the demons to possess, he possessed Asmodeus. Like that's like the high rank. Like what?
I don't know either.
It
That's
was just
why
left.
it's just. I think with possession movies now,
Uh-huh.
there's not a scare factor to it. There isn't. There. I don't think
Now
there's been a. I don't think there's.
there has. Now I kind of looked this up a little bit. So there
Okay.
has been a slew of possession movies. Okay,
Okay.
granted, I think one of the best, and you're going to disagree with me on this, but one of the best possession movies that I've seen in a long time is The Taking of Deborah Logan.
That's actually pretty good because there's a line you don't know if she's like has mental illness or if she's
Yes,
possessed. So yes,
that's
I watched that one. Yes, it was good. It was
that
actually really good.
one. That at least they blur that line
Blurred the
between
line. Yeah.
mental illness and actual possession, which was fantastic. I thought it
Yeah.
was a fantastic movie, and it was done really well. It was done very tastefully.
Yeah.
This movie just, again, just like the movies we're seeing, it looked like somebody just threw up all over the screen and was like, "Here you go. This is
Yeah.
this. This is this. This is this."
Because I think especially too because a lot of like the flashbacks with his like with Russell Crowe's past in there, you weave that in,
Mm,
and then I think what didn't do it for me was just like the bad CGI and effects. Like it
yeah.
threw everything off with the bad CGI because when they had those scenes where the mouths were like enlarged, like you
Hmm.
would see
You
in
could
an
see it happening
you
though. That's
yeah
the
you can
problem.
see it, yeah, and then like that pit at the end, it looks so fake and it just looks so
Hmm.
it didn't do anything for me, and that's why when I watch possession movies now, I almost find them comical because to me there isn't really any scare factors at all, and I think
Mm-mm.
maybe that's because we grew up on the Exorcist and movies like that where the Exorcist is actually really fucking scary, but the
Yeah.
movies now with possessions, it's just like, well,
Well, even like,
maybe they're just messed up in the head. Did you guys ever
was it?
figure that out?
Was it like The Haunting of Connecticut was one of the movie that was really, to me, was actually a good movie, and that is technically a possession movie. That was a really
Right.
decent one.
The Haunting
And
of Emily Rose 2 was a possession movie as well.
that it wasn't as bad as this. It was not
Yeah.
bad as this.
Well,
This one,
with that one, that was more of like it was almost like a thriller, like detective story with Emily Rose because you're trying to figure out
yeah.
if she was murdered or she or
Hmm.
was she possessed. With
And
this movie, yeah,
it kept cutting back and forth to different
right.
scenes. This one was like, go ahead.
With this movie, it was almost like it was almost trying to be like an action adventure movie when you didn't have need to be an action adventure movie.
Well, you also didn't know what direction they were going in either. Like it
Right.
was just kind of like, this is the scene. He's being yelled at by the diocese,
Yeah.
and then that got weird, and then it brought this scene where this girl that he knew
Right.
wasn't possessed, but
she had
she had mental illness.
she had the mental issues. She turned out not to be the possessed. She had the mental issues.
By the way, he sounded fucking Scottish in this movie. It wasn't even
It weaved
Italian.
it weaved in and out of like Italian and Spanish and like Scottish sometimes. Like his accent was just it was
Like a
off
hint of
put.
Irish at one point.
It was very off putting.
It was really weird. It sounded like he
Yeah.
had a mouthful of marbles. And like I know that the Italian
Yeah.
speech is very they actually pronunciate a lot of things, and you couldn't really tell half of. He was like,
It's like he had a sandwich in his mouth too.
croissant.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know at the end they were trying to really set this up as almost like a franchise movie because now I think there has been a sequel announced to this movie because
No, come on.
there's so many other stories to tell in the real life, past or priest like backstory. So there is a sequel announced, so we will get a sequel. Well, the movie was like a financial success, so I mean you have to have some sort of. So I mean, remember at the end there's 199 sites they have to go, check out that God is not welcome.
I hope to
So,
God they're not going to make another one.
look, you can make another one for the cheap budget it was, and then pray it's a hit.
It's like
And then you
making
got.
a movie. It's making a second Skinamarink.
Please God no.
I mean,
Please God.
if you're going along the lines of that, like it's like a second Skinamarink. Like you can't shoot yourself in the foot trying to make a second one of this. It's just leave
Yeah.
it alone. Just leave it alone.
I think I think with this, like, I'm not mad. It's like almost like I'm not mad.
but I'm just disappointed kind of
I'm
situation.
just disappointed because, like we said in the beginning of the show, like this movie had so much potential, and it's just
It
like,
did, and it just took a giant shit. Like
yes,
and I went into it with an open mind because I was like, I really don't like the trailer is what gave it a. The trailer was like, oh, this is fantastic, blah blah blah, and then
right,
it got bad reviews.
yeah. Well, mixed reviews, not bad reviews. Got mixed reviews. 47% of Rotten Tomatoes, but yeah, it just. I got to watch the final, like everything finalized last night, and I was just like left with meh.
You're kind of
Okay.
like,
Okay.
that was my reaction when I was the
Yeah.
I was like,
Like
what else is on?
yeah, exactly. That's why all right, well I'm gonna go play Xbox for a little bit now. Like, okay, I wasted an hour and a half of my life now because of you, Russell Crowe.
I mean, it was just it. I'm trying to think of another movie that I've seen where there's been a famous actor put into a situation like a horror scene, and he just fall. He doesn't. He's
Doesn't
not
nail
meant.
it. Doesn't nail
Yeah,
it at
he's
all.
not meant for that role at all. And I'm pretty sure Russell, bless his heart,
I'm trying to think of one lately where that's happened, and it's
I don't know. There's a lot of movies that I think that people are in that are like it's like putting
Yeah.
Jodie Foster back into a role where she shouldn't be.
You know what? Obviously, Silence of the Lambs is considered kind of horror.
Oh yeah.
She should do another like horror movie. She's a great actress, and I think her being in peril, it's like one of her greatest suits is her being in peril all the time.
Yeah, but I think the roles that she was in later on in life, like Panic Room and Contact, and that kind of
strong woman.
Yeah, I think it kind of killed her career a little bit, where she just didn't have that respect of playing, Clarice Starling in Silence of the Lambs.
All right. Well,
All right.
we'll give this a solid meh on the meh. All right. Moving along to movie news. This year actually marks the 25th anniversary of Blade, the very first Blade. 25 years. Yeah.
Oh God, that makes me so fucking old.
I know, right? And Blade, a lot of people don't know this. Blade really changed the game when it came to comic book movies. This was like one of the first R-rated comic movies that came out.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, hard R, lots of violence. Great. Like, it was a great movie, and it came out at like the right time too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember seeing this in the movie theater. Like great soundtrack. Like great sound. Like that opening scene. That opening scene alone. That first 10 minutes of the movie is like
when they're in the club and the blood rain.
Like
that was a perfect scene.
Hooks you right there. So Blade turns 25 this year. I wouldn't say it's solid trilogy. Like Blade 2 is pretty good, but like Blade Trinity was just crap. Blade Trinity. Yeah, it was with Ryan Reynolds, and
I liked that one.
I didn't like it that much.
I liked that one. It had a lot of action in it.
They for some reason, nobody can get Dracula correct. And in that movie where he's facing off against Dracula, it's Blade versus Dracula. The guy that played Dracula, no.
Yeah, okay, I agree on that one. The only reason I really like that movie is I am a big fan of Ryan Reynolds, and when he, for some reason, throws, just like I loved him in Deadpool, when he throws in comedy to like action movies, it works for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hate on Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he was great in the movie, but I think overall it was just kind of like it was too much going on in that movie.
Yeah,
Great cast though.
it
Jessica
was.
Biel, Parker Posey was in it. Triple
Parker,
H, come on, Triple H was in it.
yeah, I
So
think this is the last movie that Parker Posey was ever in, though.
no, she's made lots more after that.
Has she really?
Yeah.
I just remember from Days and Confused.
All right, so we've all seen the VHS filmology, starting with VHS number 1, and of course VHS 2, VHS Viral, VHS for 94.99.
Yep.
Now there's a new one coming out on Shudder next month, VHS 85.
Oh.
The teaser trailer just dropped on Shudder or on YouTube. It is going to be premiering on Shudder October 6th, so in a couple months. You can check out the teaser trailer right now. I watched it before our show.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. You know why? Because everything that you watch in the 80s looks like a snuff film anyways. and and that's what the teaser trailer looked like, was a snuff
That's
film.
like 8mm.
And the 8mm VHS,
That's
like
awesome.
grainy, looks like a snuff film. And that's the angle they're going for 85. It looks pretty good, so I'll check it out. I love the first two, like VHS 1 and VHS 2 were great. So yeah, I'll check out VHS 85 because it looks like a snuff film. So there's one scene in the trailer where there's a guy in the bed, he's all bloody, and there's a dude walking in with one of those Cockney straight razors. So yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, all right.
Show it. Avery, get off, Charlie. You're gonna suffocate him. Jeez. All right. You love Jaws. I love Jaws 1 and 2. Yes. Jaws 3, Jaws 4, an abomination. Well, all 4 of the Jaws movies are returning to Netflix next month, so you'll be able to see Jaws 1, 2, 3, and Jaws: The Revenge. You know what we should do for the next couple of shows?
Yes.
We should just review the Jaws quadrilogy.
I am down. I am down because I loved 1 and 2. 3 I watched when I was bored, and 4
is something that you put on if you want to hear something in the background.
Yeah, but yes, I'm down. Let's do the next.
So we'll do the Jaws movies. Okay.
Yes, we'll do the Jaws
movies. Can't believe Michael Caine. Michael Caine's in Jaws Revenge. Michael Caine.
Fun fact: do you know that they just did? So the guy who played, I'm pulling a blank now. The guy who played Quint, Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw.
His son just did a Broadway show
of Jaws.
It's not like you think. It's a play. It's called The Shark is Broken.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you should actually look it up. It's actually pretty cool. And he looks exactly like his father, like dead on. And he plays Quint, obviously, in the play. And it's one of the highest grossing things at this moment as far as that goes. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Jaws, all 4 movies will be on Netflix next month.
Yes, I'm excited.
A new documentary is coming out on MGM Plus. It is called Psycho: The Lost Tapes of Ed Gein. So this will be a new documentary about the serial killer Ed Gein. Mm-hmm. Pretty psyched about this. I saw the teaser trailer too as well. This is really kind of going into what made Ed Gein and really his inspiration for Psycho, the Silence of the Lambs character, Buffalo Bill, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So this is a 4-part documentary, which will be on MGM Plus. I believe it premieres September 17th on MGM Plus. So new Ed Gein documentary. So check it out.
Very nice.
Yeah, and it's crazy how a lot of these serial killers inspire a lot of classic movie monsters and horror icons, and Ed Gein has definitely inspired a lot of them.
Well, I would think that we don't.
Good old Ed.
Yeah, I mean, without, this is horrible to say, but without serial killers, we wouldn't have a lot of the good movies that we do now.
That's true.
That's a good point. As horrible as that says, I mean, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we do now if we didn't have the inspiration from certain characters, I guess.
Right, that's very true. Good old Ed. Yeah. Thanks,
yes.
Ed. Thanks.
Yes.
Hold on. And our last part of movie news, the movie, you remember 13 Ghosts?
Oh, yeah, love 13 Ghosts. Oh,
Matthew Lillard. I think a very underrated early 2000s horror movie. Well, I saw that in the theater, and I walked out thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah. And I think because it was something different, and what I thought was cool was the different ghosts or the spirits in the movie, which, honestly, I wish they would do more of like backstories into those spirits and how they became the spirits in the house.
Like background, like where they came from. I mean, they did it a little bit in the movie, but I don't think it was like I don't think it took it far enough.
Well, guess what? We might get our chance because 13 Ghosts is going to be turned into a TV series
Okay.
to further
Okay.
explore the world of 13 Ghosts. Don't know really about the
Okay.
plot about it right now, but it is in development and it's looked like it's going to be a, you never know, a 13 part 13 episode series. But I think if they do something like that, I think what they could do is, explore the backstories of the ghosts, and
Okay.
then maybe kind of forward into time about a new family that goes into the house or something like that, or something that, you know, as almost like a sequel to it, but maybe explores like the backstories of those
Wasn't the house
spirits.
destroyed at the end of it?
Yeah, but you know how horror, how films are.
I
They
know,
can
I
just,
know. All of a sudden the
hey, we
house pops
rebuilt
up.
the house with all the spirits in there. you
That
know,
works. That works.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
in development right now. So 13 Ghosts, the series, will be hopefully popping up sometime soon. It'll be kind of cool.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
Yeah. Remember,
Uh,
there's a writer's strike and an actor's strike right now, so we'll probably be waiting for a little bit.
I mean, we can take what we can get at this point.
Yeah,
So.
no, they like the pubs Exorcist.
Oh my god. All right, I have four things for movie news. So the recent release of new Talk to Me, which we've already reviewed on our last show.
Yep.
There is new Talk to Me collector's edition will let you talk to the hand.
I saw that.
Did you see this?
I did
So
see
it
that.
is
Yeah,
so you can get this replica of the
the
hand.
hand. Okay.
And the copy, it's housed in a beautiful steel book with plenty of other goods thrown as well. The only downside of the release is limited to just to 3,000 copies.
Oh.
So for those who wish to get their hands on one, no pun intended, would act quickly. It retails for $110, and this
So
is what
is there like a gimmick to the hand, or is just this the hand, and you can like maybe play with it if you want to?
I'm gonna read you what the whole
Oh, okay.
package includes. So it's a
Okay.
full size customizable replica poly resin hand created from a scan of the official movie prop.
Okay.
Iron lac paint marker, official steelbook with 4K and Blu-ray discs, 48-page bound book, a collection of behind-the-scenes experiences and art, includes an exclusive interview with the Raka Raka brothers, custom designs outer ridges slipcase using scans from the official prop hand, 8 art cards, and A3 reversible poster.
Hmm. That's a
Sounds pretty
that's a
cool.
mighty package to get there.
It is a mighty package. I don't know if everybody can see this. This is back it up a
No,
little
I
bit.
can't. No, your background's like
No,
no, I can't see
my
it.
background's too much.
Yeah,
So if you
background's
go on, Fangoria is the one that actually has this on here, and if you go on there, it actually shows you what it is. I actually thought it was pretty cool looking.
They're really milking this thing, aren't they?
They are. I don't know if I would really want that in my house. Just saying.
I mean, I think it would be
Um,
a cool prop to have, just kind of hanging out, and people go, well, "What is that?" Well, why don't you grab onto it and say, "Talk to me"? You know, I
yeah.
think it would. I think it would be a cool prop to have, just to have it
Okay.
there, and then when people come to your house, be like, "Yeah, why don't you just say, talk to me to the hands?"
Uh,
talk to the hand because the hand, the face just want to see you.
uh,
Right.
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 The next one is Creepshow. For those who love the original Creepshow, it actually has been airing on Shutter. The season 4 trailer has been dropped. For those who've ever seen Creepshow on Shutter, is actually really good. The 4th season is coming back October 13th. With a 6-episode binge premiere on Shutter and AMC Plus, new episodes airing weekly at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Actually, Tom Atkins is in the trailer, the first trailer. So he's actually coming back from that, I guess, which is really cool. I actually like the original Creepshow. I don't know about
Yeah,
you.
so do I. I like the original. I like the one part of the movie where Stephen King is in the movie and he gets all covered in
Mm-hmm.
the green stuff, and then that
Oh, what was that one called?
I forget. And then there's the other one where Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen is in there, and he buries
Yeah,
him
they
in the
get buried in
sand.
the sand. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was a good
those are
one.
for.
Yeah, Creepshow is a good filmology. It was good. I liked it.
So there is a movie that's been playing in the theaters on the like previews. It's called It Lives Inside. This is a 2023 PG-13 drama supernatural horror. You're already shaking your head.
No, you can't do anything PG-13. No. Mm-mm.
Cobweb was PG-13. It was actually pretty decent.
What movie?
Cobweb.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, you should see it.
I don't know. PG-13
So
horror is I don't know, man.
okay, well, let me read you. the description of it. So, desperate to fit in the school, Sam rejects her East Indian culture and failing to be like everyone else. However, when a mythological demon spirit latches onto her former best friend, she must come to terms with her heritage to defeat it.
I
Now,
saw the trailer because this one was attached to Talk to Me, so I am
yes,
interested in this one
yes,
because it gives off like J horror vibes a little
it
bit.
does. It does. And it gives off the Ring vibes.
Yes, so I am interested in this movie because
And, and Malignant vibes.
when I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, you caught me on this because most of the time PG-13 horror movies don't work. There are exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
There are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This one might be the exception, I hope. But like again, I might be disappointed. Like I was with the Pope's Exorcist.
All right, my last one is Black Mold. It's official 2023. This is it doesn't give much about this. It's a Black Mold is a 2023 American psychological horror thriller film written and directed by John Pata. It stars Agnes Albright and Andrew Bales as a pair of photographers who, while exploring an abandoned building, encounter a squatter who causes one of the photographers traumatic memories for her father's to
Was
resurface.
this movie based on our old high school that had the black mold? Causing cancer to everybody.
Oh god. No, it's
This
not.
movie based off of Bayshore High School.
No, it's not. That was too soon.
Not too soon.
It was actually released in April 15th this year at the Panic Fest. It doesn't give much more than this. I just happened to see it pop up and I was like, this looks kind of interesting. So you might want to give that if you guys are, into watching. I don't know. This is not
documentaries about old high schools.
Yes, that too. Basically, I do have to ask you one more thing. So here's the thing: I saw this on, if you scroll through Facebook and you have like these little videos that pop up, whatever.
Yeah.
So reels. I had, the reels. So I had one pop up called Jack in the Box.
Okay.
Have you ever seen
Jack
this
in the
movie?
Box like the Jack in the Box like the food?
No, it's a horror movie.
Okay.
I'm pulling it up right now. It's a 2019 horror film. It's on Tubi.
Okay.
It looked ridiculous to the fact that it would be something just to watch. It's supposed to be creepy, scary, and sinister.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, it gets 17% on the tomatoes.
Okay.
But it says when a vintage Jack in the Box is donated to a museum, Casey's colleagues die one by one. He soon has reasons to believe that the creepy doll in the box may have a life of its own and may be connected to the mysterious deaths around him.
Okay.
It looked semi-interesting.
Okay.
It's maybe something you might want to check out.
I might check that out. Okay.
Yes. It looked like, remember that movie Clown?
Yes. Oh,
it
okay.
Looks like that. It looks like that.
Okay.
So, all right.
All right, boys and girls. It's been another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast. Check out The Pope's Exorcist if you want. It's a mad movie, but check out everything else. But make sure to go to our YouTube page and subscribe and hit the notification bell at that Come Play With Us, Danny show. For myself and my sister Megan, we'll be back next time with probably the Jaws film series. So
let's do Jaws.
All right. Well, hope you guys have a great night. We will see you guys on the Flippity Flop.
Bye-bye.